Hello, my name is Professor Craig Smith. Welcome to English Foundation class for spring semester 2020. First of all, let me apologize and say I'm sorry for our late start to class. I know it's kind of difficult to start during week 3 as a new student and an incoming freshman. It's kind of difficult to have to start with classes online where you're not able to meet with the professor personally. But I hope that soon we'll be meeting in the classroom and we'll all be together and get to know one another quickly. Um, During this first class, I simply want to talk to you a little bit about our class syllabus um, and how we will do our online classes. Now, let me just first talk about our online classes. If you go to HisNet, you will see that we will do our online classes through HisNet, and if you go to the HisNet site, you can click on record, and if you go there, you'll see that you can go to our EF class, and there I will sometimes post some videos or have some articles or homework assignments that you can click on and download. This is also a place where you can upload assignments that I require you to turn in by a certain date, and we can do all this through HisNet. So I want to first of all uh, talk about our syllabus and describe the course a little bit to you, and also I want to tell you a little bit about myself. That is, as you can see, I'm having some trouble with the camera here, trying to get myself in the middle of the camera. EF class is a class that about 60% of the incoming freshman students take during their first semester. And it's one of the required English classes at Handong University. There are 4 required classes, but before you come to Handong, you take an English placement test. And depending on how you score on the English placement test, you will be placed into one of our 4 required classes. The first class, English Foundation, is a class that is designed to give you more confidence and practice in your production of English. That is, especially in terms of speaking English. Even though we focus on spoken English, we will do work also, a little bit of work with listening and note-taking. We'll do some work with writing and even a little bit with reading. So let's talk about how I like our class. I would like our class to run. I would like our class to be a very friendly and easygoing class where you can come and have fun and meet people, make new friends. I don't want you to feel nervous or worried, but I want you to feel like that if you just come and get to know people and have a good time in class and work pretty hard, keep up with the assignments, that you'll most likely do fine in this class. On the syllabus, you'll see at the top of the syllabus, I've listed my phone number and my email address, my office hours, and things like that. I just want you to know that I'm available. You can stop by my office and talk to me or send me email messages. Call me if you have questions or if you just want to come by and visit and practice your English. I'm available. I hope that I can get to know you and we can have a good friendly relationship this semester. In this class, there are 3 textbooks that you need to buy, actually 2 textbooks and 1 reading book. The first book that you should buy, and let me go over here and grab it from the shelf. Once class starts, this is a book you should use and bring to almost every class. It's called Discussion Strategies by Kihi and Kihi. This is a book that you can find in our bookstore. And again, we use this book not every class, but almost every time. So you should bring it every class. This book is really good because it has a number of different guided conversations in it. And usually what we'll do is put you either in a team of 2 or 3 people, and you will each chapter in this book will guide you through conversations where you get speaking practice and practice using specific speaking phrases or functions that native speakers use a lot. So hopefully you'll find this to be really useful in helping you gain more confidence in your speaking skills. The second book we will buy, and I don't believe I have a copy of it right now, but it's listed on your syllabus. It's called Contemporary Topics. And this is a book that we will not use at the beginning of class, but toward the end of the class we'll use it, and it'll give us a little bit of practice with listening and note-taking practice. Now, this book is a book that you should buy, and even though we don't use it a lot in EF class, keep this book, because the Contemporary Topics book you will use a lot in EC class next semester. EF is the first class you take, English Foundations. EC, English Communication, is the second class. So again, the Contemporary Topics book you buy and we use a little bit in EF class, keep, and you'll use a lot next semester in the next class in EC. And then finally, this is not a textbook, but every EF teacher is going to have their students read a short book in English, and we have a book that we will read, and the book is listed on the syllabus. It's titled Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This is a book I think you can just order on your own through Amazon or online or however you can find the cheapest price to order books. It's okay with me if you order a used book. It doesn't have to be a new one for Of Mice and Men. And we will probably start this book about week 8, 7 or 8. So you don't need it right away, but you will need it by around the middle of the semester, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Those are the 3 books we'll use. In terms of our course objectives, we've talked about this a little bit, but we want to help you to gain confidence and fluency in speaking in English. We want you to become a better reader and to enjoy reading. We want you to learn how to write paragraphs at a very basic or a beginning level. In your next class, in EC class, you will write longer paragraphs and more developed paragraphs. In EF, we will just do the basics of writing. And again, we'll do a little bit of work and practice with listening. We can also say, if you look at the syllabus, you may wonder, how on earth do I get a grade in EF class? And we may have to modify this a little bit because of the online semester. And you see that in EF class there are 3 speaking tests, 3 oral tests. The first one is worth 10%, the second one is worth 10%, and the third one is worth 15%. And on these oral tests, what I'll usually do is maybe put you in a group of 3 or 4 students. You'll come by my office and we'll have a conversation. Or you will have a conversation with your classmates. I will give you some questions to talk about, and I will listen and see how well you use the functions that we've been practicing in class. Maybe just 10 or 12-minute conversation, and I will give you a grade, an individual grade. We will do some short reading quizzes, especially from the book Of Mice and Men. I'll give you short reading assignments, and maybe then you'll come to class next time and I'll give you a short quiz over what you read. And if you add all of the quizzes, reading quizzes together, that's 10% of your grade. We can also say, or we should also say, that in this class you will write 2 paragraphs, 2 short paragraphs. Each paragraph is worth 10%. of your final grade. At the very end of the class, we will do one group presentation, maybe week 15 or something like that. And this will be a team presentation. 3 or 4 people in a team working together. However, when you stand up and speak and give your presentation, you get an individual grade. You get your own grade, not a group grade. During the semester, I'll have you write some short writings in a journal in English. Once we get started, you'll probably do one of those, at least one a week, maybe sometimes 2 a week, and add all of those journals together. That's 10% of your grade. And the last 5% will be, we won't do very much other homework, but there will be a short homework percentage of your grade. Another thing you should understand is our class policies. I'm pretty easygoing and I don't have a lot of rules, but I am careful about taking class attendance. Now, during our time when we're not meeting in class, I will usually give you some short homework assignments. If you turn in the homework assignments on time, then I'll count you present for the online classes. If you turn in your homework assignments late, or you don't turn them in at all, then you'll be counted absent. So you have to turn in your homework on time. During class time, when we actually meet in the classroom, I will take attendance at the beginning of class and I'll read through the names. And if you're not here, I'll read your name a second time. If you're not sitting down in a chair the second time I read your name, you're late. If you come more than 15 minutes late, I'll mark you absent for that day. Now, if you're going to be late, or even very late, come anyway. If you come to class late, I won't be angry at you. I won't be mad. I'll be happy to see you. But if you're more than 15 minutes late, I'll mark you absent. It's important because if you have 8 or more unexcused absences, then you can't pass the class. What about late? How does that count? If you have a time when you come late, you're not absent, but you're late, each unexcused time late counts as 1/3 of an absence. So keep that in mind. If you're sick and you couldn't come to class and you bring me a note from the doctor's office explaining your sickness, then I will give you an excused absence. I won't count you late. I'll count you present. Read under Part 5 about the Handong University Honor Code. We expect that students will do their own work and not copy from others or have other people do their work for them, but you will do your work with honesty and integrity. Also, when it comes to final grading, Handong University has a grading policy, and it's listed at the end of the syllabus. I can give up to 33% A0 and A+ grades. That's the most I can give. I'm not promising I will give that many. If I don't think you deserve 33% A+ and A0 grades, I won't give that many. But if you work hard, students work hard and do a good job, then sometimes I will, and I'm happy to give maximum grades. According to the grade policy also, I must give at least 30% grades C+ or lower. Now I have 3 different EF classes this semester, so if they're full, that means I have 66 students in all 3 classes. And when I give the final grades, I'm allowed to assign the grades as if I had one big class of 66 students. I can give the grade to the entire block. So that's helpful. Now, as we finish talking about the syllabus, let me just mention a couple of things. I may give you some online homework that I haven't mentioned yet. I may have you some